anyone has any questions, please feel free to type them in on the panel on the GoToWebinar dashboard. We'll answer all questions at the very end. I believe Seth is on the line, so I'm going to unmute Seth. So I just want to make sure she can hear me. Seth, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you, Travis. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. And Rebecca's there too. I'm going to unmute Rebecca. Can you hear me, Rebecca?
I can hear you.
Excellent.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you loud and clear. So both of you will be unmuted during the course of the meeting in case you have any questions. And once again, for everyone else, if you have any questions, please type them in, and we'll answer all questions at the end of the webinar. We're actually recording this webinar, so Seth and Rebecca will email you the recording so that you can distribute it as needed. Right now, everyone should be looking at our homepage, WageWatch.com. That should be on your screen. And I highly recommend using Google Chrome for the browser. Our site is optimized for Google Chrome or Firefox. So when you get to WageWatch.com, you're going to want to click Log In on the top right corner. And then you're going to type in your username and password and click Log In. And that's going to take you to your property, to your account. And for today, we're actually in the account, the Renaissance at Schaumburg. I'm going to go over the navigation bar. If you click Home, that'll just bring you to your home page. Account details, if you select that, this is where you can update or change your username or password, update your personal information. You can actually add in sub-users here. So if you wanted to give access to, say, your GM to only run reports, you could do that. We have your location information. The next item, positions. If you select that, it'll give you a complete list of all job titles with their corresponding job descriptions. And these are all downloadable into Excel by clicking the icon. You can actually sort by any of the job titles as well. So for example, if I click department, it will sort alphabetically all of the job titles starting with the administration department. The next tab is glossary. So if you click that, once again, this is downloadable to Excel. This will give you all of the metrics that we build into the reports. Many times from the field, we'll get questions about what the 25th or 75th percentile are, or maybe the average or the median. So if you have a question about that, you can click glossary, and that'll give you a brief definition for each. If you need to contact us, if you click contact, then that will give you all the different ways you can contact us by phone, email, snail mail. We also have a site map. And last but not least, we have tutorials. So if you have a question and you'd like to see a tutorial about how to input data or run reports, you can click tutorials. So corporate has provided WageWatch with your data for your benchmark job titles. So for this property, the Renaissance Schaumburg, we can see that for 2015, we've uploaded data for 23 job titles. And if you wanted to see what they were, if you click Enter Data under Comp Data, and if you click Excel and Download Worksheet, that's going to provide you with a formatted WageWatch spreadsheet with all of your data that has been uploaded. If you wanted to add any more job titles, being that our survey, it works on a one-for-one basis, meaning that if you wanted to run a report for front desk agent, you'd first have to have your data in the system. So if we're missing any data for any positions here, you could add them into the spreadsheet, and then upon completion, email the spreadsheet to upload@wagewatch.com, and then we'll reload this data, so that will include anything that you add that wasn't on here before. Seth or Rebecca, would you like to add anything to that?
Not from my end.
Okay.
Travis, thank you.
Stormy, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Upon signing in, the next thing you're going to want to do is, if you already haven't, enter your general information data, and you can do that by clicking Enter Data under General Information, and only those questions with a red asterisk are required. Everything else is optional. However, the more information you provide helps everyone else out. So obviously we appreciate that. So I'm going to get into running reports. I think that's probably the primary interest on everyone's mind. And to do that, once you've input your data, you would click Create Report. And then you're going to select Current Data. So current data is rolling for the past 12 months. So it is going to be your most up-to-date information. And then we'll select the report. Most of the time you're going to select compensation. And we have two reports. We have a standard report and we have an advanced report. The standard report is preferable if you want to run a survey for many job titles at once, whereas the advanced report is preferable if you really want to zero in on a specific comp set of hotels for a specific job title. So we'll run them both. The first time through, I'm going to run the standard report. And we can view the information in terms of how you entered it. So if you click Match My Data, if you entered it as an hourly rate for housekeeper, it's going to report that data out in the same way you entered it. Or you could view all of the information annually, hourly, or monthly. So 90% of the time you're going to want to click Match My Data. You can also build in a target percentile or a weighted average. And if you have a question about what any of these are, if you hover your cursor over the question mark, it's going to give you a definition of what that metric is. So for target percentile, let's say you want to be at the 75th percentile for your market. If we select that and type in 75, then it's going to build into the report the number of the rate of where we would have to be to achieve that 75th percentile. Furthermore, we also have a data aging calculator. If you wanted to forecast information out to the future, you could do that. But most of the time you're going to select no because you're just really going to be interested in this year's current data. So once you make your selections, then you'll click Next. And that's going to provide us with a map and corresponding market list. The breakdown, red pins represent full-service hotels. The blue represent focus service properties. Green are casinos. And then yellow, if they were on the map, that would represent vacation ownership. Your property is depicted by the black flag on the map. If we wanted to filter some of these properties out, we could do that by clicking next to Apply Filters, Yes, which will open up another window for us. And for our property in our market, I'm probably just going to be interested at this Renaissance and full-service hotel, so I'm going to deselect everything, and I'll click Lodging Full Service. We also have head count, revenue, rooms, star and diamond rating, and unionization. So I could also put in no. So if I put in full service and no for union and I click Apply Filters, on the map and corresponding list, that will only leave those properties that meet those criteria. So I can scroll in on the map here, and we can either select our competitors off the map or the list below. If you hover your cursor over the stick pin, you're going to get the name of the hotel and the corresponding address. So I'm going to select a couple off the map here. And then we can also select them off the list below. And then once you've made your selections, you would click Next. And then that's going to give us a list of the job titles. The job titles for which you have data, they're listed on top with your effective date. So I know that I have information uploaded for all of these job titles. If I scroll down, I get to banquet server, waiter, waitress. We don't have any data for that position or any of the other following job titles entered for this property. So if, once again, if you wanted to run a report for any of these positions, you're going to need to input your own data. In situations where there's not enough information, you can see for storeroom supervisor, for this comp set, we only have 3 respondents. If in a situation like this, if you email us or call us with the job title, we'll run a custom report for you, drop it in an Excel spreadsheet, and send it back. So I'm going to go down the list and click off some job titles I'm interested in here. And then once we make our selections, we'll click Create Report. It's going to crunch away, and it'll bring up the first job title, fill person. We can see for every report, we include the minimum wage for both tipped and non-tipped employees. So in Illinois, at the moment, it's $8.25 and $4.95 for tipped employees. Your information is in the blue column under response. So at our property, we're paying the bill person $10.25 an hour, and the average for the 43 hotels that we selected in our comp set is $9.34. That puts us at the 74th percentile. It means we're 91 cents above market, which equates to 10%. We have the same breakout for the starting rate, probationary adjustment, if there is one. Typically, this has gone away. Before the Great Recession, it was fairly common for employees to receive maybe a 50-cent increase after 30, 60, 90, whatever their probationary period was, but that's pretty much gone away. For this specific position, bill person, are they eligible for bonus commission tips? And 27, this is kind of surprising to me, of the respondents in this market said that no, they're not eligible for tips, bonus commission or tips. We have the same breakout for the pay range maximum, the lowest and highest paid employees, whether they're exempt or non-exempt. So in this case, all 43 hotels said that they're all non-exempt employees, and how they receive a pay increase. And the most prevalent pay increase was by Marriott for 22 properties. The report is downloadable into Excel, PDF, or Word. So I'll click PDF, and then it's going to drop it into that format. And typically, you'd want to drop it into PDF or Word if you wanted to put it, the report in, let's say, a 3-ring binder so you have it handy. While that's loading, the other option is we have an Excel flat file, and this is the best way to manipulate the information after you download it. So in the PDF format, this is what it looks like. Each job title prints out on 8.5 by 11, so you can print this out. Or in the Excel format, the flat file, the flat file gives you one line item per job title. So this is more effective if you want to get all of your information on one spreadsheet and then manipulate data from this point forward. So that's the process for the standard report. Rebecca or Seth, do you guys have any questions about this report?
No, looks good, Travis. Thank you.
Okay. Wonderful. So the
I
next
agree.
thing I'm going to show
You've covered it very clearly. Thank you.
The next report I want to show everyone is what we call the advanced report. And it's the same process of building the advanced report as a standard report. So from your home page, you're going to click Create Report and Current Data, Compensation, and then this time we're going to select Advanced. And then I'm going to click Next. And when we run the advanced report, we're first going to get a listing of the job titles, so that from there we can select the ones that we're interested in. And when it comes up, they're sorted alphabetically, and once again, those job titles where we have data, there's an effective date listed. If we wanted to apply the filters, we could do that. Typically, I like picking the job titles first and then moving forward from there. So I'm going to click, let's say, our accountant, intermediate, and administrative assistant, executive secretary. I'll just select those two job titles because, once again, this report is really geared for zeroing in on a couple of job titles and picking a specific comp set of hotels. So I'm going to click next after I pick my job titles. And we can see it's crunching away here. Okay, so now it processed the information in terms of the comp sets. The advanced report, it takes longer to run because it's making more calculations, because it's determining exactly only those hotels that have input their data by job title. So we're going to get to the first of the two job titles that we selected. The first is account intermediate, and it says not saved. And then the second is administrative assistant. It's not saved either. If we wanted to remove one of the positions, we could do that by highlighting it and clicking remove position. And to the process of removing that position, you may want to do that if you select several job titles, and then you might want to remove some because you don't have enough time to run it for all of them at once. So I'm just going to zero in on accountant intermediate. And so that we're in compliance with Department of Justice guidelines, our survey is built around the guidelines where you need to select at least 5 hotels with 5 unique management companies in order to run a report. That way a competitor could not come in and just simply click only Marriott managed properties, because then essentially they would get the entire pay scale for Marriott. So I'm going to go down the list here, and for our market, I'm going to click this Hyatt Regency in Chicago. So now we have a Hyatt. This Intercon in Chicago. So now we have Intercontinental. There's a Starwood. And the W Chicago is managed by HEI. So that gives us 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a sufficient amount of properties to run a report. That's the minimum. So we'll click Save Competitors. And once we've saved our comp set for accountant intermediate, We can see it saved now. And once it's been saved, we can click Create Report. And that will generate an identical report to the standard report. It's just that with the advanced report, you can specifically select 5 or more properties by job title, and you always know you're going to get data back. Keep in mind, though, if you only run a report with 5 hotels, we will only give you the 50th percentile, which is the median and the average. In order to get data for the 10th, 25th, the 75th, or 90th, or the weighted average, it requires you to select at least 8. So that way, it's not so. With 5, it's too few, and it becomes it's a collusion problem, because then you can start figuring out from the 90th and 10th percentile whose data it is specifically. So once again, for response, we're at 1785. The 5 hotels that we selected, they're paying $20.71 for intermediate accountants, so that puts us at 286 below market, or we're at the 14th percentile. And just like the standard report, you can also drop this into PDF, Excel, or Word as a report, or into a flat file. Rebecca, Seth, any questions for me about the advanced report?
Nope, thank you.
Okay. The last report I want to show you is general information. And this report doesn't get run nearly as much as the compensation report, but it does have very good, useful information in here. So I'm going to run the report for the entire Chicagoland market.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, no. But he seems to be able to hear you. Oh, did I?
Let's try this again. And it's going to load up here. I hope. It should load up. If not, we may have found a bug today, so that could happen. But let me just kind of show you. Oh, maybe we have it here. Okay, here we go. So it loaded up, and I downloaded it into PDF, and it goes over questions, number of guest rooms, meeting space, star and diamond rating, total number of full-time and part-time employees, revenue, turnover, housekeeper turnover rate. But you can see most of these questions are not required, so if we don't get at least 5 responses, then we won't get the information back. Get into labor climate indicators, pay practices, so just another resource for information for your market. So with that, that pretty much concludes the training session, unless Seth or Rebecca, if you want me to cover anything else.
Yes, Travis, if for the new subscribers, can you please explain to them the process to subscribe for the first time?
Absolutely. So you would go to WageWatch.com. And Seth, I want to clarify this because we receive a payroll file feed from Marriott, and when we do that, we may already have your hotel in our system. It may already be set up. So I would recommend actually calling us or emailing us, and then we can get you set up. That's probably the best recommendation I have. I'd rather have you do that than sign up online, because we don't want to create a duplicate account, especially if we already have an account for you with data in your account. And to reach us, if you go to our homepage, if you click Contact Us, and we have all of our contact information. If you did sign up online from our homepage, if you click Hospitality Salary Surveys, you would click next to the 2015 Peer Mark Survey. But when you click Subscribe, when you go through the process, it's going to ask for your management company. So if you type in Marriott International as your management company, it's going to direct you to call or email us anyway, because we probably already have an account set up for you. We just need to get you set up. Anything else? I see we have a few questions, and once we go offline, then I'll answer all of those questions that have come in. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you online. Once again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. You can reach us by phone, email. We're here 8 to 5 Pacific time, Monday through Friday. And I just want to reemphasize that when you're building a report, and if there's not enough information for any position, go ahead or call us or email us, and we'll run a custom report for you and send it back. And that's part of our service that we provide. So There's no extra cost for that.
And Travis, thank you so much for your time in demonstrating your wonderful tool. The features and functionalities of the tool are like nothing we have ever seen before anywhere. So we highly encourage our properties to go ahead and subscribe to WageWatch. And if you are in a secondary or tertiary market where you feel like, or in your experience in the past as a former subscriber, that data is non-existent or minimal, please reach out to them directly, as they can run custom reports for you. But thank you so much for your time today and the last time you did the webinar, Travis.
Oh, my pleasure. We always love doing it. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.